reports that I've been reading is that NASA is warning us of a potential internet apocalypse where we might not have internet for months.
Welcome back to Full Belly Podcast, the podcast where we discuss what our lives used to be like when our bellies were empty, but now they are full. I'm so glad to have you guys here with us today. Matt is not in the office with us. He's out on vacation. Lucky him, soaking it up on the beach somewhere. I'm happy for him, kind of not. But either way, I'm thankful that I'm sitting in the seat and I get to talk to you guys from this seat today. Today, we have a very special guest, one of my good friends, somebody I love dearly, has been walking close with me through life for a little while now, Mr. Jonathan Kendrick. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me on as co-host today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm excited.
We haven't got to do this.
No.
Right?
No, not in a while.
Not like
we do it in real life.
In real life, we do it. Yeah. And we do it
different.
Good. Yeah.
This is going to be good.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. This is my guy. This is my boy, my best friend. Him and Matt are like my two freaking best friends. To be able to do this today is really exciting. And the fact that Matt's not here puts a little zest in it. It makes it a little bit fun and giddy for us, man.
We got to show out today.
We got to show out today, man.
I miss you, Matt.
We
got to show out today.
We got to show out. This is our time. Mm-hmm. I got a couple treats for you guys because usually I'm sitting in that seat and Matt's picking on me, but I'm not going to pick on John. Maybe.
I feel like you are, dude.
I probably will.
Okay.
Well, man, we got a really cool dude, somebody that we've known for a while. Me and you've been knowing this individual for a few years now. And we'll just bring him right on, huh? How about we do that? This is Mr. Joel Duvall, man. How you doing, brother?
Welcome.
Take a seat, my guy.
Joel. Hey, dude.
Hi, John.
Hi, Joel.
What's up,
going,
man?
Guys?
How's
Thanks for having me. It's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. How you feel being on the Full Belly with us?
Oh, I'm a little nervous. It's all right. It's all right. We'll get through it.
I'm really excited about this one.
I know, dude.
I've been able to watch Joel and pretty much his entire process with us over this past year and where he started, and I'm very, very proud of you, dude. And I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's been a journey.
I know, and to be honest, so for the listeners out there, Joel initially came in through Team Recovery previously when we had just straight sober living, and Joel was with us for a period of time, so we got to know him, and then we opened up our treatment center, and things kind of evolved, and but we've known Joel and we've seen him try different ways, and right now, man, you're really stepping in, dude, and have really made a transformation that's like so remarkable. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because there's a couple things that we want to talk about ahead of time, but I just want to freaking, talk you up a little bit because I love you, man. I love
Thanks,
you.
man.
Thank you for being here, bro.
Yeah, he's solid.
Solid dude. He's from Columbus, which some people would say is kind of weird, but whatever.
Go Bucks.
Well, he's a Toledoan now.
Yeah, Toledoan.
From the mud? Is that what they say?
Yeah, from the mud made.
Mud made.
They say you'll do better in Toledo. Right?
They say that. I agree with that.
I mean,
personally,
it's proved true in my life.
Yeah. So, man, there's a couple things going on. Me and John, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
You said that NASA. What did you tell me, dude?
I cannot confirm this, but from reports that I've been reading, is that NASA is warning us of a potential internet apocalypse where we might not have internet for months. And so I was thinking, man, like, how would that affect my life? What would I do? I got scared. Did you get scared?
No.
You were scared.
No.
Yes, you were. You were scared. You were a little scared.
Anybody that knows me, and if you don't know me out there, you know that I'm not scared of the internet going out. I will thrive. To me, that sounds like heaven a little bit. I would thrive in that. Why would you be scared? Like, what do you mean?
I guess in my head, I picture like full blown, like if my internet's going out, I'm fully going back like Fred Flintstone. I'm not driving nowhere. I'm going to go hunter gatherer.
Yes.
I can't send an email. These clothes. Nope. I'm going to make my own clothes. I'm going to fish. I'm going to hunt. I don't know how to do those things, but I'll learn. That's scary to me.
Is it? What? Yeah. And you guys, I mean, come on. I would love that, right?
You would definitely
thrive.
What I mean?
I would love going to the post
If
office.
that happens, I'm coming
sending
to your
an email
house.
to you and
A telegram like the owl in Harry Potter. Like, I got to train this bird to go hit up my homie. Like, man, but babe, I'm going to be late tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick up the kids. Like, how do I get this message to you, this owl? I have to train this
Pigeons.
owl to deliver
Pigeons, dude.
Pigeons.
Pigeons, bro. Little
That
pigeons.
don't scare you?
Little scrolls? No, dude. That I sounded. What? I get to train pigeons to carry little scrolls on their skinny little legs.
You ain't Mike Tyson,
Bro, that's who I thought of too. Yes, I would.
Yeah, remember
I would.
that?
Yeah, I do.
On the rooftops?
Yeah.
He turned out all right.
Hey,
So
what would recovery be like? You know, like being somebody in recovery. I think
it'd be better.
it'd be better. Why?
You're disconnected.
You're not as distracted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the distractions aren't there. You know, not having access to all of the BS, man.
you might think twice about sending that late night tip that, you ain't got internet now. And if you're sending that to the homegirl where it's like, man, you need to really focus on yourself, buddy. Okay?
Right.
Because now you got to send the owl out at 2:00 in the morning and it's different.
And you don't have a cell phone the same way,
No.
maybe, right?
Yeah.
So you got regular house phones, dog.
Would those work? Would the landlines work? Could you make phone calls?
Yeah, you can make
Yeah.
phone calls.
That's not
Are you
internet.
sure?
Yeah.
I mean, our cell
Look, I'm
phones
not an
are
IT
internet,
guy,
but-
okay?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
you can make phone calls.
But who has a house phone?
Right. And then if you're trying to do a drug deal, right? Like you're trying to get drugs, remember payphones? They got rid of them all, dog.
Yeah.
They got rid of them all.
Yeah, brother. Okay, I'm going to be on East Broadway at 3:05.
Yeah.
I promise I will be there. I'm wearing a Vince Carter jersey, Raptors, number 15. I'll be there on the corner. Please be there.
Yeah.
Please.
Have to go
Dude,
back
you
to the
gotta-
old days when the
That's a
boys
lot of
just
you gotta
stood
have
at the
faith.
gas station.
Yeah. Man, dude.
Remember that?
Bro, I do remember when I first started getting
Yeah.
high, man.
Yeah.
Like when I first started like really getting high, I'd go to payphones, bro.
It was a whole different era. It was a different ball game.
It was, dude.
Yeah.
It was. I think things would improve for people in recovery. I really do.
Yeah, I think it would definitely. So for me, that 30 days in residential, you ain't got a phone, you're
Nothing.
locked down.
That's a good.
Right.
You
Back to
hate
the
it when you're
basics.
there, you know what I mean? But it's the
Yeah.
best thing
It's
that
like,
ever happened to me.
and it's like jail, right? People that go to jail, a lot of times they say like, I didn't detox as bad because I knew that I was in
Right.
jail, right? Like if you know you have no option, then
Yeah.
it's easier to surrender. You know what I mean?
I take it back. I think I would enjoy it. I think it would be.
It would
good.
suck at first, for sure.
I think it'd be a nice little break, man.
Dude, I
be
would be
a-
so for it, man.
Yeah.
I would be. I mean this wholeheartedly. Like I would be happy about that. I really would be. I thrive on people, right? Like how's that? Like I would be happy.
How would that affect your day to day with work, with your job?
Well, it would affect
I-
everybody's day to day, so it would
Yeah.
affect mine. But it's not like a personal thing where I'm, any of us are going through something that nobody else is going through. So it's like, well, we're all having to adjust. So my day to day would change like anybody else's. I mean, emails, all the things at work, and but my mom and my family, I'd still be able to call them. We just get a house phone. Like I only have a handful of
The
people.
cup with the string. How long can that string? Like so we live probably
Dude.
like about a couple miles from each other, but that's a long string. We could communicate that way.
Just have a ton of cups linked up.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Just like I'll have like a system of cups
Yeah.
going everywhere. Joel
Yeah.
has one. Like
Yeah, Nicole, can we get that group covered?
yeah, right. Just are you there? Are you there? Right.
I don't think she's there.
Yo, shout out to my dad, bro. So my dad's a ham radio operator, bro. Like, yo, my dad is a ham radio operator, and he's not playing around. He has like 7 antennas in his backyard. One of them's like 900 feet tall.
Facts.
He's talking to New Zealand right now, probably. But he like documents every single interaction he has, on
Next
what
level.
channel, frequencies,
Yeah.
like real. Like my dad would be the dude, bro.
Yeah.
He'd be that dude. He'd have people lined up
Yeah, he's been preparing for that moment
for a long
his
time.
entire life.
Shout out, Dad. Your
Yeah.
time's coming, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I mean, there's so much always going on in the world, but let's give that a rest, man. Let's give that a rest. I want to hear about you, Joel. I want to talk to you, hear about, your life and first of all, man, just what brought you to Toledo in the first place? How'd you end up here?
So yeah, I was in Columbus, homeless. So it got pretty bad. Me and my nephew was my best friend. Let's start with that. So
What was his name again?
Kane.
Yeah, man, I wanted you to say it out loud because I know you love him.
Yeah, I don't talk about it a lot because it's still a touchy subject for me. But he was my best friend, and actually, my brother. We were sleeping in his backyard, and
In Columbus?
in Columbus, and he showed up. It was his rental house. Nobody was there. He showed up and called the cops on us. We bolted. This dude was persistent. Chased us for probably like 2 hours.
Your brother did?
Yes.
On foot?
No, in his car.
Oh, man.
So we were like hiding out in people's yards and shit. But anyways, my nephew ended up getting arrested. So like I was out there by myself. And I ended up at a friend's house, and he was like, yo, you can stay here, but I'm going to Toledo tomorrow for treatment. And I was like, I'm coming with you, buddy. So I called up and got into treatment out here, and next day I was here. So
Wow.
that's what initially brought me to Toledo.
Yeah.
And then, as you know my story. My story does involve relapse, so I've went back and forth, and
Between Columbus and Toledo.
Columbus and Toledo. And
What was that year? When did you first come up, Joel? So I'm trying to think of
I think 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think my first interaction with you was when you were in our sober living before
2021
we were operating clinically.
Summer of 2021.
And you were in our sober living, and there was a female you were with that was also in our sober living, and I remember very vividly us in that basement.
Yep.
We were right by
Remember?
the office, and we were like, I didn't know you that well, but Juan had a really close relationship with you at that point in time. You're like, man, she's going, I'm going to go with her.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with her.
Had
and
my mind made up.
Yeah. And there was no talking you off that ledge at that point in time.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about, do you remember that? Like what?
Yeah, I remember that vividly. Vividly. I'm actually like, I needed that. You know what I mean? I needed to go back and, I don't know. I learned a lot about myself in that trip. You know what I mean?
After you guys left.
After we left, you know what I mean? I just to see that it's not sweet. You know what I mean? Like it don't get any better. You hit that bottom twice as fast, twice as hard.
Yeah.
And just to realize, you know what I mean, that the things I took for granted the first time being sober and what I had laid out in front of me and gave up. But yeah, I mean, it definitely gave me a new perspective. And I tried here and there to get sober in between them times, and it just wasn't working. And
why? What do you think was, what factors do you think, like what things were going on to prevent you from being here?
Me being in my own way. Yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of is just me being in my own way and my own insecurities and fears. And so getting back to like the beginning, you know what I mean? Like I said, my nephew was my best friend. So after I left sober living, I ended up back in residential in September of 2022, I think.
Yep.
And that's when I seen you. You came in and did like a meeting there. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
So right after that, my nephew was murdered while I was in residential. And I stayed sober through all of that. And I ended up back in Columbus for his funeral. They let me out of residential like 3 days early to make his funeral. We ended up burying him on my birthday.
Wow.
So I said goodbye to my nephew on my birthday. So like I struggled with that, with like trying to like I felt some type of way towards my family a little bit. Just being like, damn, how could you guys do this on my birthday? You know what I mean? Like you guys didn't think about it. But now it's like I look at it as a good thing. Like I celebrate that. Yeah. I celebrate him on my birthday.
Oh man.
So, yeah, and then ended up going on a little run for a while too. Then just kind of, I think that was like a grieving thing. You know,
didn't know how to cope with the feeling of all of that and the thoughts around it.
I was grieving him a lot, and they ended up arresting his murderer 2 days before I came back to Toledo. So like it was like a couple things happened in that time. They arrested the dude that killed my nephew, and I ended up losing my job. Like I went into work and they were like,
in Columbus.
yeah. And they were like, yo, gotta go for drug tests. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
But in all of that, they were some really good people. I appreciate them because, again, they did something for me I couldn't do for myself at that time. So like as soon as they said that, I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to Toledo.
Yeah.
I had already had a couple friends that worked at the detox place that were like, yo, Joel, we got you. You know what I mean? So I called them up, and the next day I was on the way to Toledo.
So you came back up with us, if I remember correctly. So we had you in sober living. You left. You went through a lot. You went through all of that.
Yeah.
You came back right as we were first getting off and running clinically
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
I think you were one of our first
first 12, I think I was
here.
number
Yep.
12.
I remember the very first group we ran, there was like maybe 9, 6, whatever. However, there wasn't a lot of humans.
Wasn't a
Not
lot of
like
us.
what it is now, but you
Yeah.
were one of them.
Yeah.
So you were there from the jump, from the very, very, very beginning of, Team Recovery LLC.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I was the sixth person in sober living when they opened the sober living, and then I was the 12th in the clinicals.
Wow.
So
And
Yeah.
how long
cool.
were you with us before you eventually moved out? You graduated successfully.
Yeah.
You killed it.
But you
were with
relapsed
us.
one time.
No,
not this
No,
last time.
no,
He didn't.
you came from the beginning, and
Yeah,
yeah,
he did not.
yeah, that's right.
He did not.
He did
He
not.
went through some trying times.
Yeah.
We had a lot of struggles. I mean, he always persevered. He overcame. He bumped his head in other ways and in other aspects, but man, he never relapsed.
No,
not
yeah,
this
stuck to
last
it.
go around.
I said the whole time I was here, like I hate saying it because you hear it all the time in recovery. Like I know this time's different. I feel it. You know what I mean? A lot of people say that, and then a couple weeks later they're back out. But no, this time, like I felt it.
Yeah.
You know
were
what I mean?
done.
Yeah. And I truly believe like my nephew being up there, like he's pushing me, man.
Guiding
Like,
you.
yeah. He's gave me something inside of me that like I didn't have before.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I heard this theory, right? That the universe, God, life, takes people from us to support us through things that we can't do on our own.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like the idea that, and man, to be able to, grief is so complex, man. So like trying to make sense of it and be like, well, where can I find some way to make sense? Because a lot of people are like, it's not fair, and it's never gonna make sense.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be okay. But like hearing you say, I really believe that he's like living inside of me and helping me, like gives you something to attach to and say this has to mean something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like holds like a deeper kind of weight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's crazy though that you were like the sixth person that came through sober living. So when I started, you were.
I had already been there. I remember when you came because I didn't know you.
Nobody did.
Yeah, a couple people did.
Yeah, a
couple
few people,
but I didn't know you, and I'm like, man, who the fuck is this Juan dude?
Yeah,
This is gonna suck.
We got to.
He's gonna
I
change
don't like
everything.
him. I could tell, dude.
Yeah, I don't. Nope. Juan.
Because
why is he smiling like
Well,
that?
dude, we had like 56 beds when we started. And there was only like 24 people, right?
Yeah.
It was like
It's crazy.
And that first night, I remember I came and like there was people drinking, right? Because we didn't have a ton of oversight at the time. Like we were trying to figure out how to make it work. And I walked in that apartment. I'm like, people were just drinking beers, dog, and sober living, right?
Can I help you? Like, this dude's on the couch with a natural light, bro.
Right.
Like, what?
I was like, hey, I'm
Dude, it was
Juan.
crazy.
I'm Juan. Like I'm the new director of housing. They were like, cool.
You want one?
Yeah. Like, and I'm like, but when I came on for you, what did you notice the change that was happening from that point for Team Recovery? Could you tell?
Man, just like everything in life, when you're in the moment, I don't think you really see it. You know what I mean? But like looking back, and we do the Friday night fire meetings. I remember when those started, and it was like 6 of us just sitting around the little fire, just bullshit
In
and
the
kicking
winter.
it in the winter,
Yeah.
cold. And now, like I've seen it with 200 people,
Right.
you know what I
Popping.
mean? Like, it's crazy.
Popping.
Yeah.
And then just to see what Team Recovery has become now, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just to watch it all unfold. And, like, I remember you just telling me all this shit. We're going to do this. We're plans and plan. I'm like, you know what I mean? When you're in the moment, you can't
Right.
really see it, but to see it unfold is amazing.
And you
It's
were
amazing.
you were a part of all that too.
All
Yeah.
of it, yeah.
That's-
Yeah, you've seen it.
all of it from start to
Yeah.
where we are today.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, dude.
That's nuts. That's
Yeah.
so cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me and John like watching. Like, I remember
man.
us walking out of the basement. Like, damn.
I was still early on in my own process at that point in time, and I had really just started running with you. I don't even think I was a year clean myself at that point
I
in
think
time.
when we had that conversation,
Joel had
in
more
the
sober time than
basement,
you.
Probably,
Yeah, right.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you had just started like
I had just
coming
left
around,
another
like, a couple
facility, and
weeks.
yeah,
like, it had been.
and I was like, man, but like I had been there so many times before, where you know I get this is a huge issue that we have now in like every treatment center and no matter where you go, everyone talks about the same thing, but it's for a reason. It's like we hop into these like relationships, and because we're so broken, you know, we're so broken, and we're not happy with ourselves, and it's a lot easier to put our eggs in another human's basket and take the focus off ourselves. And
You hit it right on the nose, man.
and I was the same
That's
way, and I
it.
could see myself in that. And I was like, man, like this ain't gonna end.
And
well.
I do the same thing today. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I look at people, friends, and like I'm like, man, just
chill.
focus on you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, again, you hear it in recovery all the time. People say stay single for the first year, and man, that shit's true.
That's
Yeah.
a real
You know what I
thing.
mean? Just to
And
be
you
able
can't
to
convince somebody.
No.
of that,
No,
right?
when they're like I said, when they're in that moment, you can't see nothing
Right.
Yeah, but I love her
outside
though.
of that.
I'm
Right.
in love, and you probably haven't experienced a love like this, like that what we
Right.
got. But
Yeah,
I'm telling you
yeah.
right now, we've got it all
Yeah.
planned out. White picket fence, children, probably 2 or 3, a dog, maybe a golden retriever. I don't know, but you wouldn't get it. So
I had a goldfish.
3 days
named
later,
Lucy.
I'm overdosed, bro. It don't work.
for sure.
This is the real one.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know how to treat me.
I know. I think my mom's gonna like her. I don't.
Mom hated her.
Yeah, my mom hated her.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh man, and it's wild though, because also like on top of that though is like there's 2 people involved, right? Because as much as we were
Yeah.
saying the same thing to you, I was also feeling the same thing towards her.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, like
Yeah.
oh no, right? Like this, and I think what's difficult too is being able to play for somebody to say, hey, I'm not choosing you over her or her over you, which I like have to always be mindful of, which is like, all right, if you're going to make this decision, just know that
Yeah.
you have someplace safe to come back to.
Yeah.
I love you. I wish the best of luck. In the back of my head, I'm like, damn.
And that's one thing that always stands out to me about you is like when things like that happened, you did always remain the same person.
Mm-hmm.
There's no judgment. You know
Let's
what
go.
I mean? Like when I was ready to come back, you were the first person I contacted.
Like,
You know
let's
what I
go.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember coming back to Toledo and just being like, man, I want to go to Team Recovery, but I knew it was new. I didn't know the insurance. You know, I didn't know how all that was going to work.
Yeah.
And when I got here, everybody's like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really taking people like that. And I was in detox and seeing, what's his name?
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, yeah. And you know, at detox, you're not allowed going out them front doors.
Right.
I bolted out them front doors to go
Take
talk
me.
to him. Yo, Nick, what's up? I'm Joel. I called. And that day, he was like, yeah, we got you a bed.
Yeah.
So I was super
And you came
grateful.
in, you were ready to put some
I was
work
ready
in,
to
dude.
roll, man.
Yeah.
I was ready to
You could-
roll. I got
day
right
one,
to it.
man. Day one, like he was on it, man.
My first week here, I had a 40-hour-a-week job.
Man, you really did.
Yeah, I
you
went-
were grinding.
Grinding, dude, doing groups, 40
Mhm.
hours, 50 hours a week at that time.
Man.
Yeah. But that's
Doing
what I
that.
needed, man. I
For
wouldn't
sure.
recommend that to
No.
everybody, but I needed that. You know what I mean? Like, I had been through the sit down and
Mm-hmm.
take time for yourself. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
needed that routine to get back in and to get my self-worth back.
And I
Right.
think you always did a really good job of communicating where you were at in your process. You know, I think before you had struggled with, and like if I'm really struggling or what I'm going through, like how do I, like when you came back,
Yeah.
it's like if you were fucked up, and you told us.
Yeah,
You let
yeah.
us know. You let your
Communicate.
peers know. You did it. Yeah. It was like, man, I'm not good
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. That's a big thing that I think.
How did you a lot of people struggle with that's in our, for whatever reason, us as addicts, we're stubborn, it's pride, maybe it's whatever it is, but we struggle to voice like, man, I'm good, but inside, I'm not good.
Yeah, so for me, being here before and knowing everybody, like half the people that worked here I knew from being sober the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew everybody around, so it made it that much easier for me to just be like, yo, like y'all know my situation already, so
comfortable.
It's easy for me to come out and talk about it.
I feel like that dynamic is one of the things that for us as Team Recovery, like that really sets us apart, or has the different thing is our ability to really relate, which a lot of places now hire people that are in recovery, but our team really has good rapport with people where they're like, we have a really solid rapport with people that are receiving services.
We had I think a really unique opportunity to build from the ground up and almost handpick these select people for like a Nicole Rayner or Jake Kempe,
dude, that's
like, these people are the best at what they do.
In my opinion, going through different treatment centers and
the best of the best,
like best of the best, like
all in their own way.
Can't get any better. You know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah. Remember them bowling days early on for you guys,
man. Bowling, volleyball, dude. That volleyball. That's honestly like one. I never knew I liked playing. I've never played volleyball.
Gosh,
and then started doing the volleyball.
You were in those activities heavy with me, dude.
And
that was when I was running a majority, like probably 80% of our groups. We had
probably
like 6 staff members. Every group. I was running groups heavy, but Joel was there. We were bowling, glass blowing, painting rocks. Were we going to the zoo? The quarry?
Yeah.
The quarry?
I never got to do the quarry. I worked, but
you did work. You did everything else, though.
I did everything else.
But all those things, man. So, but and a big part of it is like the philosophy was we want you to build your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Build a lifestyle here, and people just do groups to do groups, and what the idea is like, hey man, find what you like and continue to do it because you know that it's good for you, right? And you want this to be a part of your lifestyle, and you've done
connections,
like you and your roommates, right? Shout out to Harlan and Russ.
Shout out, guys, love you.
You know what I mean? But you guys still play volleyball. You guys still go out and kick it. You guys are still involved.
Yeah, we're all going to the Float for Recovery.
Yeah,
that's so good,
in like
dude.
2 weeks. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
I'm excited, super excited.
Yeah, that's wild, man. It's so crazy to think about because where you came from. And I remember having conversations with you, at different points, like, man, dude, like where you were frustrated and you were tired.
Yeah.
But dude, you never came out of pocket, bro. Like you just had conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I need this, or this is my problem.
Yes.
Like, can I have an answer to this? And like you were just really, really dope about that. But, thinking about now, like where do you got a job, you share in a house with your friends, really good supports and relationships. What does it look like for you moving forward? How do you want to create your life from here?
So
what's your goals?
Something I realized, like, I mean, I knew you hear it all the time too, stay connected. So, I just try to continue being around the people that supported me and I look up to, you know what I mean? So, and now I realize too, I have people that look up to me. You know what I mean?
You absolutely do.
And that's crazy to me. Like, it blows my mind to think like, me? Really?
Mm-hmm.
You know who I am?
Yeah, bro, inspiration is give and take, bro. I look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, what? So, like, I've been trying, you know me, I don't talk a lot in meetings, even doing this is kind of, is a lot different for me.
It is.
You know what I mean? But I try to open up more and like I can help people, you know what I mean? So that's what keeps me going. And like, that's what, and just becoming a better human, you know what I mean?
I think the faith and patience and acceptance that you've displayed throughout, I know a lot of people might not know your entire journey and what that looked like here, but I just want to give a brief rundown of how you did things the right way, how you transitioned from, you were at a high level of care, maybe 7 days a week to 5 days a week to 3 days a week to outpatient to when we moved out, we stayed in sober living. I think you were at Oxford once you left here originally, and then you found you waited to find a good group of humans
You moved out with somebody else that relapsed, and you said, "I'm not going to stay."
Doing that, yeah.
And then you moved back.
I forgot that part.
Moved back to Oxford House,
which is huge.
Well, no, I moved out of team recovery.
Right.
Went with a friend. He relapsed.
Yeah.
And immediately I moved.
Yeah, and then you moved out, which a lot of times people won't make that decision,
which
is another thing.
Yeah, it's like when you see it going left, man, turn right.
Right, and you moved out with your boy, right? It's like you want your boy.
One of my best friends still is.
Right, but it's like, yo, in that position, if I'm the one that relapses, and people that do, typically it's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to do the right thing. Like, stay with me, stick it out with me, right? And and that's hard. That's hard to be like, nah, man, I gotta go. You know what I mean? You're my friend, and I love you. You're my boy, but I gotta go. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that was hard.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it was and it wasn't. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, I just have it's different, man.
Yeah.
Something's different, and I like where my life's going. So
I'm proud of you, bro. Yo, man. So with that being said, we've been doing a new thing on here, which is giving the guests, giving the people that are coming on here the opportunity to flip the tables, turn it around, and you ask us questions if you have them, or you go ahead and take the wheel for for a minute. Okay. So what do you got for us, bro?
Anything.
Actually, that was a great transition because this goes into exactly what I was thinking I was going to ask you, Juan. So like going off of, like you said, I moved in with a friend and he ended up relapsing. How do you stay that same person and not? I know I take from you a lot. I love you from where you're at. You know what I mean? I'm with you where you at. But how do you step back and keep that same energy, I guess?
Oh, man, that's a really good question. Holy moly, Doug. A question maybe I didn't know I wanted to answer, but I do. Man, I think it's important for me. It's an important thing for me that I'm consistent. That's important just internally to me, that I remain consistent. And I've always known I want to be caring and kind no matter what the terms are, right? I want to be strong. I want to have healthy boundaries. I want to be caring, kind. I want people to understand that I'm a good man, even when I'm doing something they dislike, that I'm not doing it to harm them, and that I won't use it to hold it against them. And to stay that same way requires a lot of work. The behind the scenes take on that, like, it's not just, naturally I have the inclination to want to be like that. That's just my desire, my what I have internally. But to maintain that is, it's doing the work. I don't want to disintegrate and have a huge identity crisis all the time when problems arise in my life. I want to remain consistent. So I voice to people I love when I'm frustrated. And not necessarily people that I love, people that I trust or have confidence in to guide me through that process. I say I'm struggling if it's a personality disagreement, like somebody going back out and me not becoming jaded. I have a philosophy that I lead by because I stick around people I look up to. And for me to be a part of who they are and to represent what they've given to me, it calls me to be the same way. And so if I'm having a hard time, I go to them and I say, hey, like, this situation's hard, it pisses me off, or I'm hurt, or I'm frustrated. I don't feel like giving to people anymore. And they'll remind me of who I really am. They'll remind me of who I am and who I've stated that I want to be. But also, if that's not available, man, I'm reading, I'm listening to music, I'm constantly in a state of reflection, And all of this boils back to me really ironing out in my head early on, who do I want to be from here on? And designing that man and that individual in my head. I've never separated from that. I thought about that when I first got sober. I got a clear canvas and I get to make a decision on who I want to be for the rest of my life. These core things. And that's never changed. I want to be a good man, a kind man, an honest man. I want to be a giving man and a loving man, no matter the terms. And a lot of people, I think, have terms on how they act. There's a few things I could, that will, obviously I'll establish boundaries, but that doesn't mean that I change how I appreciate or approach you or treat you in moments of interaction. It just means that the closeness and the amount that you get to interact with me is dependent on how you act, but I will still treat you the same way and speak to you the same way.
Yeah.
Because that's important to me. You know, I don't want to be a contradictor, a hypocrite, you know, and be all over the place, you know, and that's hard work. I cry, I laugh, I listen to music, I go to the water, I adventure hard, I love hard, but I never forget about the boy or the guy that I was before I got sober, and how much I never want to be that person again. And I also cling on to the idealism and the desperation of that first day and me saying, I want to be a good man.
Yeah.
That's there with me all the time, man.
So like be the man that you needed at
Yes.
one point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is perfect example. And I always say to people, like, who is somebody you respected or admired or loved when you were a kid? You know, and I think about that person, like, was it your grandfather who you were like, that's a good man, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's these examples that I have, and not everybody has those examples, but if you do,
I'm one of them.
right, you know what I mean? You might not have one, and some people don't, and one of the most flattering things is when people say to me, like, that's you for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that fuels me. But I had somebody, right? I had people where I was like, that was a good man. And when I think about that person, this individual, like, it makes me emotional, and I stick to that, dude. If I don't know what to do, I'm going to act like my grandfather. I'm going to act like my father, or I'm going to act like Carrie, you know, shout out Carrie or John. Like, I have these people. I'm like, that's who I want to be like. And I told that line, bro. Told that line, and God handles the rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what else you got?
All right.
That's a good answer.
And John, so this one's for you.
Hey, brother.
You're always that bubbly, goofy person, and I know doing what you do, running these groups and dealing with all these people, how do you keep that same energy? Like, how do you hold on to your identity as everybody knows you as, you know, the Joker, you know, the funny one?
That's another good question.
Man.
I don't have the same opportunity to run some of these groups like I used to, but just overall with that that outlook on life, I try to take a deep breath and catch myself when I do start to feel sorry for myself, when I start to look at the bad. I look back to a time where things really were bad.
Yeah.
And I have so much to be appreciative and grateful for today with the humans that I have around me, for the people I get to serve, my family, my children, my fiance, my best friends. When I start to get into a place where it's like, man, like things aren't that good, or I feel sorry for myself, I'm like, man, look what I get to do every single day. Look what I get to surround myself with. Look what I get to go home to. And it really puts things into perspective. And most of the time, man, I'm just genuinely happy.
So
like
just really isn't that bad.
I like what
I relate to that.
I love what I do. And I couldn't picture myself, imagine myself doing anything else. That makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, I relate to that
because
I
wasn't always like that. Like things were
I relate a lot because
not always good.
It was not always good, and now the life that I live now, like how could I not be grateful?
Right,
you know?
right.
Like I said, I was homeless and
Yeah,
just down. It's crazy to look back on and like see where I am now and the outlook I have on life now.
Different.
You know what I mean? It's so different.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how people try to run away from it, right? Like for me, when I knew I was done, like it previously, it was hard for me to look at who I was because it really hurt me, right? I felt ashamed in the feelings I had around what I've done. But when I was really done, that person that I was became such an important tool for the rest of my life. Like, now I get to look back because I knew I was done.
Right.
I was ready for anything that came, you know, and so I get to use my life previously and the pain of that. It's no longer like I'm ashamed. It's like, man, I have such an opportunity. Right. Yeah. And I always get to look back at my experience and say, bro, really? I prayed for every problem I had.
Yeah. Right? For all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a time I wish I had the issues I have now, which aren't much, you know what I mean? But
I think that was one of the biggest fears I ever had when I was really, really out there was, man, if I ever do get clean, I'm not going to be able to ever have fun again. And it was I wasn't living life until I really got sober. Then. Like, yeah. I'm living today, dude.
Living.
Like, we out here living.
I used to say it all the time, like as a sarcastic joke. You know what I mean? How you doing today, Joel? I'm living the dream. You know what I mean? Living the dream. But now I'm
living the dream.
I'm literally living one of my dreams, man. And it's great.
Say that, dude. With that, dude, do you have before we close out, dude, this has been such a blessing, but do you have a message that you would want to say to anybody out there? You know, if you had, you know, somebody looking at that camera right now and they're watching this, like, what do you got to say to that individual that might need help?
Oh, man. Oh, it's so hard. Reach out. Keep swimming. So I'm going to say to the people early in recovery, just keep swimming, man. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. Don't give up. The only time you fail is when you give up.
Man, don't give up. Yeah. Man, bro, I love you, dude. I appreciate you, man, so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Joe.
Before we close out, man, we have a couple more minutes, but we have a sponsor, and I get to now. We have a sponsor that's selling Wi-Fi from Caligen, and John Kendrick. You know, I really want you to tell the story about how Caligen started. And in what ways can this internet provider help them with the impending doom of the internet collapse and how they're going to do it different? Can you tell us there?
Yes, Caligen Wi-Fi was actually started in 1934 by Edward Caligen. He just had a vision of, you know, connecting everyone through this wireless network of underground rabbit holes. So there's these rabbits underground that they bring up the carrots. They transport the carrots. The carrots actually have a Wi-Fi network in them. So if it ever goes down, doesn't matter. Carrots are homegrown. They're natural. They ain't going nowhere. So if Buckeye or Spectrum or whoever they got, their Wi-Fi goes down, Caligen's not. It's going to be around because of the rabbits.
How do you get a hold of them?
And they'll know. They'll know.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Oh, this is so good that I got to have somebody else do that. Thank you, man. Holler at Caligen out there. If you guys, Edward, good old Edward.
Good old Edward.
So, man, I love you, dude. I appreciate everybody tuning in. For all the listeners out there, please share this with somebody. If we can reach just one person, if just one person can relate to this, they can find some measure of hope from this, then we're all doing our job. You know, that's how it started for me. I saw a picture and it inspired me. So please get this out there, share this. Please give us some likes, some love, comment on this segment if you feel inclined to. Say what's up to Joel, give him a shout out, and please support us by following our other channels, Team Recovery, follow Full Belly Podcast, go to our Full Belly on Facebook and on Instagram, and we have it on TikTok as well as YouTube. TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's a banger. Please hit us up, Team Recovery on TikTok. You won't be disappointed. And subscribe. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers for Full Belly Podcast. And to anybody out there, if you're struggling and you're needing support, our primary purpose and our goal and our function as people here in this space is to find a way to support you. If you're out there struggling, if you have never been into treatment, you have a family member that needs treatment, or if you're somebody that's relapsed and been in recovery, please reach out, man. Call us, call our lifeline. We want to figure out a way to help you start living the life that you deserve and the life that we know you want and the life that your family needs you to step into. That number is 419-561-5433 or 419-561-LIFE. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out next time. Peace out. One love.